Hope he's rolling.
He's rolling.
All right. Sweet. What's to become of me? Thought is no crystal ball. Somebody said we're all going down. I want a hand in my own fall. Taking the night road out of the city, back to the hills where I belong. 3 pillars hold me here, nowhere I want to be. If you had said how things were going to turn, I wouldn't change my mind. Taking the night road out of the city, back to the hills where I belong. Taking the night road out of the city, back to the hills where I belong. There is a picture of you and me, cut out of code and on computer screen, just so the woman can say what we are worth, as if there's nowhere she has never been. Taking the night road out of the city, back to the hills where I belong. Taking the night road out of the city, back to the hills where I belong.
How's the finger?
My important finger. So it's gonna survive.
It's going to survive.
Yeah.
God.
I don't know. What do you want to do? A couple more bits of that, or
No, I
you're good with it?
I reckon that sounds
That's
real
cool.
nice. This is like, Sam's giving us the little.
Yeah, cool. Oh, that's good. That always helps when you get Ace's
when
card.
you get
Eh?
the Ace's card.
Yeah.
So this is an older song.
Yeah, pretty old. Yeah, it's quite an old one. We did it on our second album, but I'd written it quite a wee while before that.
Is it about like the 3 pillars? Was that the 3 sisters?
More of a mind, body, soul thing. 2 sons and the partner at the time, and it just sort of fits nicely with a lot of things. And I like to try and have ambiguous lyric if I can, so that people can pin what they want on it.
Oh, that's so.
Basically.
Oh.
But it's an old, just an old thing that I had. I used to go up to Auckland all the time. I was living in Putaruru, and I used to drive up on a Thursday, do an open mic, and then drive home again.
Oh, wow.
And so I did a lot of miles,
Yeah.
and that's where that kind of came from, heading out of the city back to the hills.
I totally got that.
Yeah,
I
pretty
totally
much
got
is
that.
the vibe of that song.
Yeah, yeah. No, they're the three pillars that, like water feeling, you mean, like mind, body.
Yeah, and that hold you there as well as in support you there, but sometimes hold you in place when you want to move. You know, that there's a lot of that these days where I think we regurgitate a lot of sayings and things without giving it too much thought, and I like when they can kind of spin both ways.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah. So you're not just clichéing out the same and there's an extra.
Yeah, I tried to do that with that song, that I wouldn't
Yeah.
change a thing or change my mind. Just playing around with those sorts of things and twisting one word or changing one word to get a different vibe out of it.
I like the line about the woman, say what we just, that line. And I also like in some of those is you're putting in the non-rhyme. So I'm hearing you're expecting da-da-da-da and you're throwing in something else.
Yeah, I like doing that too. But the thing about the woman, for a while there, I was like, I flipped that on the head, and when everyone talks about the man in a negative sense, you know, the big system
The
that
big
holds
man,
us down.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
I liked how you used to be able to flip the male-female pronoun and it would give it a bit of sauce.
Yep.
But nowadays it's just such a fluid thing, it doesn't matter, you know. So that's kind of changed a little bit, I think, you know, what lyrics can mean.
Yeah.
So I used to love those songs, like, you know, when the Beatles sing and Obla D and accidentally sang She Does Her Makeup when they're talking about Desmond.
Yeah.
You know, and little things like that, it just gives it a different spike or a different flavour or changes it up a bit, and that's always fun.
Yeah. And so have you, like, writing, I'm really interested because Sam, I was asking, like with Mark, because you're both in the Slacks, did you grow up being all musical?
No. Mum played violin and piano when she was young, but I don't remember a lot of it around our place, although Nana and Granddad always had a piano and we'd always bang away on it, but that was probably just kids damaging the piano more than anything else.
Brutally, yeah.
But Dad was like, he loved his rock and roll music or loved all his 60s music, and the radio was always on in the mornings, and he used to sing a lot and gave us the love for the Beatles and that era of music that I still really enjoy. And I guess that just came out of that. One year, me and Mark decided, he said, come up to Auckland, we'll start a band. And I was at the end of my tether with my job. So I said, okay, let's do it. And we were green as, and we just went and did it and got a few open mic slots and had a bit of self-belief and went from there.
Wow.
Basically.
And do you, so your writing and Mark's writing is really different.
Yeah, we do it separately.
Like
we don't.
and that comes together.
Yeah.
And so how long have you been playing together?
We started in 2001, in February 2001, and Zany and Blakey joined us in 2008. So the band as it is has been together for nearly 40 years. It feels like it. But it's really good. I mean, we're four good friends and we love being in a band. You know, we've all got the dream of being the Beatles or whatever still. It's just around the corner. I can feel it.
It's going to happen.
This next song is going to take us to the top. And so together, like Mark will write songs, I will write songs, and then we bring them together as the band, and everybody works on them. Especially in this situation here with Sammy in the studio, because it's the fun part.
Yeah.
You know, so that's the bit we like.
Yeah. And I guess, you know, like it's that the length of time and the writing is, it's not like you're going to, if you don't make it to the Beatles, whole thing's been
oh yeah, we won't. But it's so much fun, and we're totally sustainable. Like our whole thing with the Slacks is to try and break even.
Yep.
Because if you're in it for the money, then you're in the wrong part of the business. You need to be a publisher, or you need to be one of these other people that do make some money out of it, even though it's probably not that much either. But you know, you've got to just do the gigs, I think, and make them happen however you can. So we're lucky like that because we don't take any money from what we do. We just keep it all together in band funds, and that pays for the band stuff.
Yeah, and so that's at a place now where it feels like
gigs pay for recording, and we like to gig and we like to record, and so we just keep doing that, and then gone through the phases of let's get behind this and really push it out there, and then you get nothing back or very little back, and so you think, let's just stick to recording and playing.
Writing some songs.
Totally, absolutely. Because I can't be bothered with a lot of the social media stuff because so much of it's just kind of flick and glance, and a lot of it's just it's in amongst a whole lot of nonsense. So it's easier to just connect with people live. I think better.
Well, at the gig that, at the Festival of Lights last year when you were there, obviously, like, there's something that you're doing. There's a good crew of people who are...
Yeah, I think
like your songs, a lot of those songs feel like, I don't want to say they're almost covers, but they almost feel like,
they've been going for a long time now.
There's a sense of, like, people know that, they know that.
Yeah, well, Big Aroha was a good one for a bit of exposure, especially in Taranaki, but also through the schools. And so the weird thing is now we're getting... people having 21st asking us to play because they were in year 8 or year 9 when Big Aroha came out. So we did a 21st a few months back. That was just like that. And the amazing thing was all the 21-year-olds there and 20-year-olds knew the words to all the songs. It was really cool.
That's super cool.
They were stoked we were there. We couldn't, because when we first got asked, we were like, a 21st? You really?
Are you serious?
Yeah. But it was really cool. So that's been good. Yeah. But I think we have a pretty positive, fun, upbeat vibe. We don't take things too seriously. And so the idea has always been to get people to feel good and to dance. And Marky's really good at writing songs with really positive message and outlook and, tree-hugging sort of stuff, which is... And I kind of balance that a little bit.
With a bit of melancholy, a little bit
I struggle to write songs about flowers and love, and I mean, all of those songs have been done a billion times, and they don't motivate me. I like, I don't know, just taking a serious topic and make it a bouncy song, or vice versa, taking a slightly sort of upbeat vibe and turning it into a bit more of a melancholy kind of vibe. Just that juxtaposition is cool.
So that's sort of the thing, holding those paradoxes in your writing. Like the idea of twisting pronouns or changing pronouns, so the tension that you're creating from presenting a little bit of the unexpected, possibly.
Definitely. Well, I'm a writer. I've always written, and so then I realised at one point, well, I can't sit down and write a book because I can't get past the first 2 pages of the first chapter.
Yeah.
So then I thought I'd give poetry a go. So I've written quite a few poems, and then I realised, well, pop music or popular music is such a great medium for if you're a writer. It's 3 minutes, it's done. It's engaging if it's got a good melody. So I think I'm very driven by lyric.
Yeah.
And an idea from I might hear a phrase and go, oh, that's a song. And then sit on it for 3 months and then suddenly get an idea for it, Yeah. And then add something else from somewhere else, and it sounds like it's the same song or the same topic or the same theme, but it's not really. Just works nicely. So when people say, what's the song about? It's like, it's kind of about this.
But there's a layer and there's a layer and there's a layer.
Yeah, that's it.
Do you do like essay writing or other sorts of writing as well?
Not really. Like I've done, I like writing. I just like playing with words. Have you
always loved playing with words?
Yeah, I remember as a kid sitting down to write novels, and like I say, getting through 2 pages and then starting something new. And so I guess probably, to be honest, I think everybody's like that now. But if you look back, you probably think probably was neurodivergent if they had that word back in those days. So I don't know. And I think music is one of those things where you can kind of do whatever you want, really. And people have the attitude, they're in the band. So they kind of let you get away with stuff.
So interesting you should say that. I remember talking to Dad about that, who was a painter, and he was like that too. He said being in kind of like being the artist in the room almost in a way gave you permission in a funny way to just be a little bit on the fringe and be kind of acceptably on the fringe.
And people thought
people thought that was but that was a comfortable kind of thing for him to wear, and I can relate to that because it's like finding the place where you fit, you know, and I think a lot of musicians gravitate into that world and that space because of
for that reason, Well, because it's like an undies tog situation. Like some of the stuff you wear on stage, perfectly fine if you're performing, but you walk outside and people look at you sideways. What's this guy up to? I call it the high vis, you know, the number ones. Yeah, basically. But that's all part of the fun. Yeah, you know, and I think that's why we're still going, really, because we get to have a few shenanigans and get away with it. Yeah, and then people think you're an artist and you're talented as well. It's great.
But really, you just want to wear your undies.
Just having fun, undies outside your pants, kind of thing.
Yeah. Do you have any structure around how you write, or you're busy because you do other things?
Such a difficult thing to pin down. Like for the longest time, I only ever wrote stuff when I got the urge and the inspiration, and that's a really cool thing. It's hard to explain to people, but when you get that and you start rolling with something and it seems to be coming from nowhere, I can totally understand when people say that, when the muse seems to come from somewhere else. I think it's stuff that boils away inside you and then comes out formed after some time, stewing or something like that. But then there's other times where usually it's when Mark's written a song, I'm like, that's a good one. So then I'm like, I've got to do one too. So that's been a bit of a thing as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's a motivating factor. I don't know if I could ever do jingles for a job. Like, I don't know if I'd have the discipline to be able to tune out complete work on a regular basis. I think I just don't operate that way. I get distracted. A squirrel runs past, that kind of thing.
Shiny object.
Yeah.
And do you write on the guitar?
Yeah.
And do you play other instruments?
No, I haven't had any formal training. And like I picked up guitar at Teachers College just to be able to sing along. And we've always had, we've got a big extended family, so we have had those nights where it's sing-alongs. Yeah. So I say we haven't had any music, but we always, the number of times I've done The Gambler, played The Gambler a cappella and then later on with guitar.
And you get that little chord change, key change, and little
all that sort of stuff, not quite. It was a long time before we were able to do key changes and things like that. But that's what got us into it, was party guitar and having a great time and having a few beers. Yeah. And then the more you do it on stage in front of people properly with sound engineers, and you just learn your stagecraft. And we cut our teeth in Auckland doing, 3 or 4 nights a week regularly, a lot of covers and things like that. And you just learn how to take a heckle, how to give one back, in a good way that's not going to start a fight, that's more likely going to enhance the vibe. You learn to make mistakes on stage and get over it. All of those little things, You find out, okay, stop talking now and play, or now's a good time to have a little chat, or all that sort of stuff that you learn by doing.
The craft, you learn not just the playing, the whole thing.
And I think for the first 10 years of that, we were like, it's just around the corner. We're so good. We're going to make it any day now. The guy's going to turn up and sign us. So we didn't do a lot of chasing, but we had a lot of fun.
I remember talking to Blakey, your bass player, after when you guys played at WOMAD, and he was really his. I remember what he said. Like this is just part of the ride. There was the before, this is now, and then there's the after, and like this is part of the ride. It's not.
That was awesome.
We're not getting, but we're not gonna get to the place. It's like we're here doing this thing, enjoying this part while it's here, and then.
Because if you think of a place that you're aiming for, I guess you can say we would like to play Big Day Out or something like that, like a concrete target or a concrete aim. But a lot of the time, I think you're kind of fooling yourself, because it's taken me a long time to realise that the industry is quite a hard industry. It's really difficult to sustain anything. We Big Aroha totally took us by surprise. And so we had conversations with publishers, and they were like, what's next? And we're like, we've got no money. We spent all our last lot of budget on that song, and we don't know what we're doing, basically. Yeah. And that was too long between songs, Yeah. And I think you've got to constantly be churning out content to stay in that public eye, but that then becomes a bit of a millstone around your neck as well, I think, if you're not careful.
And that really often just pulls away from what put you there in the first place, which is songs, writing words and making songs.
And you do hear horror stories from people that are like, oh yeah, they've been on tour with someone that's quite a well-known name, and the thing just sounds like a massive slog, like really, really hard work and intense and loads of pressure, and that's not what being in a band is supposed to be for me.
No.
You know, mucking around with the boys is
sounds way more fun.
Yeah, it usually is.
And with your teaching that you do you feel that fills up another part of what you do? Like, is it, so where did you train at Teachers College?
Down in Palmerston North, back when it was PNCE before it became Musa. So like, it was a wonderful landlocked city but I didn't do any music, you know. In those days it was just go to the fits, maybe watch some rugby, bunk some classes.
You do a bit of art.
What am I doing? And I think right up until the point when we started the band, that was what was missing. And, you know, there's some really great elements to teaching, but for me, I get out of bed going in the back of my head, you're a musician still.
Yeah.
You know, like you do the other stuff to keep the wolves from the door.
Yeah.
I'd love to be a full-time musician, but that means lots and lots of travelling, I think, realistically.
Yeah. That's also that seasons as well, you know, seasons like is interesting. We had someone else, you know, when you have families or kids or being in one place, or it's a different thing.
Yeah, well, I was the first to have kids way back in 2005, and so that then dropped out of the social scene, and everyone, you know, they see you and, where have you been?
Yeah, I've been raising
like changing nappies and things like that. And my boys are now my youngest is just about to turn 18, and so the potential's there to go, but Marky's kids are still quite young. They're at primary school, and Zanie's boys, they're older, but he's in Auckland, and so we've got lots of logistical issues with the slacks, but we
you make it, like
we managed to get it together. Yeah. It's hard to rehearse new material for live. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
We fall back into the old ruts, and like especially when we haven't played for a while, that's great because the energy's back. Again. I wouldn't. It'd be interesting to be fully on the road for 6 months. You know, playing 3 or 4 nights a week would be really interesting. I don't know if we'd last 6 months.
That's beautiful. This beautiful marriage of might.
Could be good.
Could be,
but it might not be.
The thing listening to the recordings, and it is those harmonies, all of your voices together sound pretty.
That's what I like with it, especially with this last album. Is
so good.
And the boys are solid too live. You know, that's what's so good. Zanie and Blakey are fantastic. I can't remember the song that Marky did. That's just him and Blake. Blakey does a fantastic backing for that as well.
So live, you were all singing as well.
Yeah, pretty much. Which is, I think, is a nice thing. I think people respond to harmonies. You know, especially if it's hard to tell on stage because you're not out front hearing the mix and things like that. But I think it makes a big difference when you've got multiple voices. Oh
yeah, there's nothing like more voices coming together.
Yeah, it's the realistic. It's the real nature, like that Sound City documentary that Dave Grohl did, and he kept banging on about the imperfections that keep it human, and I think a human voice live, is great for that. Like anything live is really, because you've got the potential to fall over.
Yeah.
And whenever I watch a live performance and the band is on the verge of falling over, that's when it's at its best, especially if they can pull it back. I love that, watching the dynamic between the musicians.
Yeah. Have you read that Paul Kelly book, How to Make Gravy?
No.
I think you'd really, because he's a great writer. He's a great, and he talks about the wobblies. He says you're playing and then this sort of imposter syndrome creeps across, and you're starting to feel it, and then the whole band's sort of feeling it, and you're in the sort of, and then you sort of rein it all back in. But that's exactly that suddenly you're going into that sort of almost self-conscious state.
Yeah. Well, finding the trance state, like whenever I start out live, when we're playing live, usually you've got a busy head. What is that? What's that sound like? Doesn't sound right to me. Like, is that too loud? Is it? Yeah. And then you have to give yourself a mental kick and go, right, everything's in place. It is what it is. Just play the song now and let other people do their job. And then once you let that go, I think that's when you get to that good space and you start to lose yourself in what you're doing. And that's probably what you're chasing when you're playing live, I think. Because it is like you remove people. Like, how can you be up on stage in front of all those people? And it's like, well, first of all, there's a microphone between me and them, so it's pretty much a brick wall. And then the other thing is that half the time you've zoned out from that. I find it difficult to look at the crowd when I'm playing. I'm usually got my eyes closed, just getting into that space. I think Marky's good as a front man. He does all that legwork.
More of the...
He connects with people and brings them in, and he's really good at that. And I'm glad, because I'll do it if I have to, but
it's
prefer
more
not to.
Comfortable to.
I think it's more natural with Mark. He's quite natural.
You think?
Yeah, and he's always been like that. Since we were kids.
Is he the older or the younger?
No, he's the younger one. But you might always ask people, who do you think is the older one? But he used to always do skits and stuff like that. Mum used to make us do skits and stuff like that whenever the family got together, and I guess there's a bit of that. She made me do. Well, I say she made me, but. She got me into Q Theatre in Inglewood when I was young, did a couple of plays.
Bit of
Amdram. Did a bit of, what's that, impromptu stuff, like the theatre sports at university. That was just fun. Drinking a lot of homemade vodka and stuff like that, and just interesting people having fun. Yeah. And so it's always been exciting. Being on stage always gets the adrenaline going. And I think that's part of the hook as well.
And being in this where you don't know what's going to happen, and that's it's like any kind of, it's even like this kind of conversation where you don't know where the conversation is going to go. Like, to me, that's interesting. Like, I don't want to, not so interested in hearing the same necessary story. It's like, for me, I love the conversations. When David White, he's a poet, he's one of my favourite, and he talks about having the conversation that you come away from when you learn something about yourself that you didn't know. And so there's room to go, it's like the jamming or improvising or theatre sports, or that suddenly there's a sort of uncovered or discovered part that's, You
make those connections through that thing, because you don't often do it. Like, I think one of the great things about live music is that instantaneous interaction between an audience and a band doesn't really happen anywhere else. Like, you consume most things on a screen these days, and so there is no backwards and forwards. If you are having a shocker, you can tell from the reaction of the audience, and vice versa. If it's going really well, you can tell. So that instantaneous energy change is also really, really cool. Because when the audience is willing and when they're on board to have a good time and they're getting into it, and the band is also doing the same thing for the audience, that's when it's epic.
Something's happening.
That's when it's really, really fun. Because you can do those musical wallpaper gigs, and I've done thousands where you are in the corner. And everyone's talking, and you're doing it for the cash or whatever. But it's also fun to do, and in those situations, my philosophy is play the songs I like. So I'll just give everyone some deep dives off Neil Young until everyone seems to zone out, and then I'll play Wagon Wheel, things like that.
Put a wagon wheel.
But that's part of the craft as well, is like when you see people switching off and knowing what to do.
To bring it back in.
Flip that switch, be a musical prostitute, play Wagon Wheel. Or the gambler.
Bring out the gambler when you need it. No, we were chatting about that too, about almost sort of being a little bit clear about what it is you're doing and why you're doing it, like what you can expect sort of from an audience and what situation, what context, like if people are really, if their main focus is going out and having a meal and talking to their friends, then they're not going to...
No, you might as well just be playing.
But if you're
sort of
doing
lounge.
a little lounge gig with people who are sitting and listening, that's a really different intention. So knowing as a songwriter and as where am I in this? Where am I in this? And being really comfortable with with that.
Yeah, I'm
Any
happy to be
bones?
musical wallpaper. If the money's good, but I think I can't remember what I was going to say there. You can go in there and you can command a room if you want to, but that takes a lot of energy and often it takes quite a bit of rehearsal. I think as well. Like unless you happen to be in a really good space and you're just sort of bouncing along, and especially if you get a good response from the audience, and occasionally you get a good heckler and they give you something to work with, and it's not that offensive and it's kind of funny, and so you can bounce off that and that can bring the vibe up as well. But I find more often than not, once people are in their cups, if you give them a couple of songs they know, that'll rope a few people in, at least.
This song, No Reason to Love.
Yeah.
So this is different. This feels really different to a lot of the other.
The recording process was totally different. Blakey did a lot of is it the Fender 6, the Fender Jazz? What was it? I can't remember what the instrument was. It's kind of like a sort of space between a guitar and a bass. Oh. And Sammy just put a lot of effects on it to get it really airy and really, same thing with the piano, the way that he mic'd that up. Because, all we thought was the song kind of is quite a soft song. Be cool to have no strummy guitar and no bangy drums. So it kind of evolved very much in the studio, that song. The lyric was all there, but then I decided I wanted to sing it. I said to Sam, I whispered in his ear, I want to sound like Marilyn Monroe singing Happy Birthday to Mr. President. And then really, really struggled to sing it because I was really struggling with my breathing technique on it. And that's why my voice is largely sounding wobbly. And I came out of the studio, the boys were all in tears and they were giving me a hard time about it. Oh, Scotty, you were crying. And I was like, well, I'd got a hitch in my voice, but what was actually happening was I was struggling to sing that quietly. Normally I can belt it out and there's no problem there. But when you're trying to control your voice that much. And then I could hear the song as I was singing it, and then that's what gave me a hitch in my throat as well. And then I think afterwards the backing vocals the boys did just lovely on it, just made it, I think, complete really. And then Matty Sargan as well, his keys. But a lot of that, the squeaky sounds that sound like birds in the background, that's the
pedal, is it?
Fingers sliding on the string of that was so hot that was mic'd up, So it was really cool. I was really quite happy with it as it was. It's not really you won't ever hear that song on the charts, but I kind of like it just because it is very different from everything that we've done before.
It's an incredible song.
Really, really old lyric. Like I wrote that first verse probably at Teachers College, so in the 90s.
Oh, really?
And then had that thing where I sat down and I suddenly got the chord progression for it, and then the rest just fell out. It was really, really cool. It was one of those sorts of songs. Well, we can have a go at it.
Let's have a go at it.
Yes. I don't know what it's going to be like.
Always cut
strumming.
If we need to.
I've got to remember how it goes.
Reminds me of a bit of a lullaby.
Yeah, very much. That's kind of what I was kind of going for, I guess. Let me defeat my fainting heart and turn aside all common sense, if only to tear down a fence and make of love a common art. If I could have my time again, I'd know you just the same as when before we kissed, and everything was new. If I only knew that time goes on and love grows old, The guess was wrong, the story told, and all of this will come for you, but love is all you have to do, and you will learn to start over again, start over again, If you want to rise above, don't turn away from an embrace. Don't close your eyes. Don't hide your face. Don't let your fear destroy your love. And when you lay down in the sun, remember day is on the run, but night is too, and you are not yet done. I don't know if I like playing that on the acoustic guitar so much. Was it a bit strummy, Sam?
It's beautiful.
I do like that song.
Beautiful, such a
thank you.
such a beautiful, beautiful song. It really, I've really I really loved learning this. Like I could really, it's your recording of it. It's powerful and emotional. But then when you get inside someone else's words, it feels to me like life. This is the bit where we start again.
Like the idea of no reason to love. It's not that there's no point to it. It's that there's no logic to it.
There's no
and again,
logic.
Great play on words as well. I like that because people are like, oh, what do you mean there's no reason to it? What's the point? But it's because it comes and goes a lot of the time, and it's all good. It hurts when it goes, but then...
And that's actually... It's bound to loss. It's the flip side of it, but that's still the reason.
Yeah, what did they? I can't remember who the poet was. Something about sorrow digs a furrow you fill with joy or something like that. So it's like the juxtaposition. The good stuff always is followed by the bad stuff. If you're going to get that connected to somebody and it goes wrong, you don't just walk away from that, without some impact on you. So I was really stoked with the way that it came out in the studio because it's not at all. I had no idea what we wanted to do with it really at the time. That was probably largely Sammy, but also Blake Gibson as well.
He's
talented dude.
Just having because it's that Mary Oliver poem to to love with your full warmth and body, whatever as closely and as tightly as you can, and when the time comes to let it go. And this is what this feels like. It's like it kind of. And having the sensitivity of the people to make it in that recording sound so like it feels, I get it, it's like you're right there in a whisper. Yeah. Telling, you're not singing it, so it's singing, but it feels like you're telling this essential stuff. Into my ear.
It was a cool experience because I had a couple of goes at it. I think I ended up doing it pretty much in one take. Sammy might say that's a lie, but I had a couple of goes at it before I kind of got the vibe, and then partway through that middle part where my voice breaks, I was like, that's kind of cool. I need to keep going. I need to get it finished and so that it's all consistent. But it was really cool. It was a really cool experience, that song.
And having the boys' voices in the back carrying through
lifts
when the voice
it up,
sort of comes away a little bit, and having those.
Because we talked about, do we want to keep that vocal or do we want to redo it so it's a little bit more?
So glad you.
And
kept
yeah,
that.
I was like, although when I sing it, if I sing it live, I often do it with a really kind of Elvis-y affected, kind of vibe to it, which works really well too when it's presented acoustically on stage, as opposed to all of the stuff that we did in the studio with it. I think Zany spent an hour and a half, 2 hours setting up his drums just to get that one moment. The classic studio stories. It's like tie the drummer up. Yeah, can't play on that one.
Yeah, yep.
Because he's a kinetic drummer, Zany. Like, he's a fantastic drummer, and he's also really fantastic to watch.
Yes.
When he's going and he's standing up and down, and he's all over the place. It's fantastic to watch.
Yeah. He's
and,
all you need.
Yeah, and he's fantastic. I remember when we first started playing with him, I was like, holy, that is loud.
Yeah.
That is loud. But yeah, it's been fantastic. Yeah. Brings heaps of energy, that rhythm section. It's great.
Yeah. And also, like, having the spaces to sort of interpret these songs. And have you got others? Are you writing all the time?
Yeah, not all the time, but like I said, the last one Marky did, we just recorded with Sammy called Overmorrow, and we were all like, oh, that sounds like Oasis, let's give it a nostalgic Oasis-y feel. I was like, right, I'm going to write a blue one. So I did, and same thing again, like it's called Made Up Man, and it's like, it's sort of exploring the changing. I don't like saying I'm exploring stuff in my songs. That's not really how it goes. It's just writing about
what's going on,
what you see around you, and trying to interpret it your own way. And I mean, ultimately, any time you write a song, you're not really writing about anyone else but yourself. I think John Lennon kind of said that. Yeah,
even if you try and do that, they, she sort of give them a name. It's really basically.
And if it's your take on what's happening around the world politically or socially, then it's your take. Like, that's not a comment on what's actually going on. It's just how you interpreting it, kind of thing. And that's the good thing about humans doing stuff, because it's already happening, isn't it, where you can go and listen to songs that are being generated by AI with AI videos, and it's all very paint by numbers, horrible music stuff, but a lot of people are consumers, and so that'll work for a lot of people, and it'll work for a lot of businesses as well, because it'll be cheaper. But I don't know if it's, who knows, I don't know about the robots.
I'm not. I'm very happy to be in the room with you, Scott, as a human.
Yeah, it's
for me, is it like, I think the more the other, I think people will really still are going to even flip to wanting people in a room listening to live music. I honestly, that's my hope. That's where I'll be heading.
I think a lot of that technology, it's like a lot of new things. It's fun and exciting for about 5 minutes, and then people are over it because it's not really that special. Like it's not any fun writing a song with AI, because it does it all for you. You just sit there and wait for it to tune it out, and that's not the point, really. I guess if you needed to write a song about walnuts or something like that.
If you were doing your jingle career, possibly.
Yeah, possibly, because I think you'd probably be able to get away with that, eh?
Yeah, but creatively.
I'm sure that'll happen. Like, I feel sorry for those people in those industries where they're getting shunted out because, I've got a good friend that used to do live sound for Sky Sport, and that's all kind of
gone.
Yeah, it's all gone. It's kind of one person does everything. It's all done with computers. And he said the first time that they did an interview with someone and it was zoomed in, he knew it was game over when it was the Zoom quality, audio, not actually well done professional audio. And I think there's probably a lot of industries that are feeling that, But then I think, like you say, it'll swing around. Going to a small pub and listening to live music in a real atmosphere, you can't get that from a screen.
Mike's Velvet, what was it?
Mike's Velvet Lounge,
Mike's Velvet Lounge, yeah.
And like Ron's one of those guys that has done a lot of trying to keep his venue there for music, and I think we have a lot of really cool big events in Taranaki. We're really lucky, but we need to nurture the grassroots, and there's a lot of really good music in Taranaki, and there's starting to be a few more venues pop up, which is cool. Yeah. But we try and get behind anyone that's doing that, because I remember the old one down at John Power down at Decanter that 15 years or something that ran for, and a lot of musicians working in bands now started there. Like we were getting into that too back in 2010.
Yeah.
So that's been really fantastic.
The old Grapevine too.
Yeah, all of those places.
Yeah.
And they're just absolutely necessary, and especially for the young musicians. They need places to play. They need audiences to get in front of.
I remember doing jazz at the Mayfair on a Friday night. That's where when I sung jazz standards there on Friday nights, and that was the same thing, that there's a place that's set up, there's live music. People are going there to listen to the music. And you can do your 3 or 4 or whatever, or build up to a set. But you're so right. You're so right.
It'd be cool, like, those venues that for a while there was music there 4 nights a week, and people knew, so they would go. And you have jazz, and you have traditional Irish, and you have pop music, and you have covers, so that people can go get what they want to listen to. There's some people out there that will go listen to any live music because they just love live music, regardless of the genre. But I think it's really important to keep those places going. Just, to give the young ones an opportunity to try, because we got support from people when we started. We got a couple of guys going, you guys are fantastic, keep going. And, at that time when you think, are we any good? I don't even know how to tune a guitar.
Well, that's the thing we was talking earlier about having those key people who say the thing, that thing right at the time, those pivotal points which send you off in a direction because of that support.
That first album that we did, we met a guy, friends of ours were flatting right next door to me at a studio in Grey Lynn, which I think is Dave Dobbin's studio now, but Mike Donnelly was his name, and you guys are fantastic. I know a guy, he wants some quick money, he's off to the States or something. It was Nick Abbott, and he came and recorded and engineered we did 5 songs in 3 days, and then he came back a year later and we did the other 5 songs, and at the time we were just fizzing. I can remember sitting down and looking at him through the glass going, oh my God, I can't really play guitar, like what am I doing? This guy's recorded with like well-known musicians, and it was just a fantastic experience. And that's Mikey D. Like, he was like, you guys are the rock monsters, and he just kept pushing us, and it was really cool because we needed that at the time. You don't know what you're up to, really.
Still fumbling.
See the old photos of the ridiculous clothes you're wearing on stage and all of that sort of stuff. Yeah, fantastic, fun times.
Oh.
The Dog's Bollocks in Auckland was where we kind of got our start, and it's not there anymore. That was a cool pub.
Yeah, all those. Yeah. Oh well, Scott, thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Thank you so much.
I was kind of stoked that it wasn't all of us going to talk about my songs.
I want to talk about your songs.
Yeah.
Don't tell your brother.
No, that's all good. Well, he's actually, they're off to Ireland. They just left yesterday, so he's off for a couple of weeks to go see family. And
nice.
Yeah, so I was like, great, it's time for me to take the wheel of the slacks. I'll put out
shine.
3 of my songs. Yeah,
Bring them
all
on.
good. Magic. Cheers, mate.
Awesome. Thank you.
Cheers. Thanks.
Thank you.